The woman mixed dog feces into the batter, baked it into a cake, and gave it to her neighbor. After eating the cake, the neighbor praised her.
You did good.
A proud smile appeared on the woman's face. Nick had been living a peaceful life, but the arrival of new neighbors shattered everything. That night, as Nick was getting ready to rest, deafening music suddenly blared from next door and didn't stop until 4 a.m. Nick barely slept all night. The next day, when he went out, he found dog feces scattered all over his lawn. At first, Nick thought the neighbors were just making noise to celebrate their move. But on the following night, loud heavy metal music started playing again. Fed up with the disturbance, Nick knocked on the neighbor's door and asked them to turn down the volume. The neighbors apologized verbally and told their friends to lower the music. Nick went back home and fell asleep contentedly. However, he was woken up again in the middle of the night by even louder music. Furious, he knocked on the door once more, but this time the neighbors' expressions changed, and they snapped at him for being too picky. When Nick threatened to call the police, the neighbors yelled at him to get out of their yard. Helpless, Nick went back home and called the police, but the police said that noise complaints needed to be directed to another department, and they would only take effect if multiple neighbors filed complaints together. Although Nick was angry, he had no other choice. He had to drive to a nearby park and barely managed to sleep in his car. The next day, when Nick returned home and was about to wash up, he was mocked by the male neighbor. Determined to get rid of this terrible neighbor, Nick tried to contact other residents, hoping to file a joint complaint. But seeing how aggressive the man looked, and since their own homes weren't seriously affected, the other neighbors were all unwilling to get involved in the trouble. Nick felt utterly helpless. How on earth could he deal with this bad neighbor?